Hip hop since 1987.com.
You're chasing and lots of records three-pointer wise, but one of them is the consecutive games with one that Kyle Korver holds. I wonder, does that record mean anything to you? Are you aware of?
I'm aware of it for sure. I don't know where I'm at, but I know what he was able to accomplish.
You got 125. The record's 127. So you're.
It's just that level of consistency and longevity of being able to, knock down threes no matter what the situation is, and game after game. That honestly, when I first heard about it, probably in the middle of last year, and thought that was a crazy record that would be tough to top. It's a big part of my game and what I do. So I have a lot of confidence shooting the ball, so hopefully I can get there. But Kyle's been like a kind of a standard for a lot of three-point records in the last 3-4 years. And anytime you do something special, his name usually pops up, so it means a lot.
When it comes to the record chasing all around this team, I know you get asked every place you go, but what do you guys do not to focus on it, or do you embrace everything that you guys are potentially chasing?
I mean, we embrace it because we're a very competitive team and understand the opportunity we have, but you can't change your perspective and your focus on a day-to-day basis that has gotten us to this point just to, make that 73-win, run a priority at the forefront of our mind every night. Else we get distracted from the big picture. And I always say, like, it's the most cliche thing you could probably say, but the way we approach the record is by staying in the moment. And, we understand, we know what our record has to be over the next 28 games or so to get there, but you can't fast forward past those games. You can't put any pressure on yourself to go chase that record. If it happens, it'll happen, and it'll be because we've focused day in, day out on the next task. And tonight, that's Atlanta, a great team. So, and especially on the road, we got to play well to stay on that path.
Did you and Kent become so aligned? What do you guys do on the business side of things?
He was the first kind of guy that introduced me to Under Armour. When he came out of college, he was a rookie for us, and he got more gear and boxes in front of his locker every day than anybody else on the team. So, he's a big believer in where the direction the company was going. And over that summer, right before I signed with him, talked to him a lot about how it was him, some of the big wigs in the company, and his kind of perspective on it. So he's a huge reason.
Let's go, I'm starving.
Made the switch. And kind of kept that momentum going since, even though he's over here. So he's been huge. He's like the biggest spokesperson for the brand, and kind of always wears new stuff and wears my stuff. So it's nice to have that kind of support from a guy that was obviously a good friend of mine, but also, I guess you call it a business partner.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate that. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
What you listening to as you come into the arena? What's getting you right before the game?
I'm all over the place. I got a cousin that's a rapper from Toronto that's got a bunch of new hot music out that I listen to. Cray is my usual go-to. Okay. We were actually playing him during our shoot-around today. It might have been an Atlanta thing, but also he's changed the game too. So he's probably my go-to.
Good luck, man. No, I need it.
Yes, sir.
Are you allowed to talk about Varejao yet?
Yes. That's fine.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, we expect to sign him tonight. Hasn't happened yet, but we intend to, so he can come.
Yeah, he's flying in today, and he'll get a physical when he gets here.
we expect to sign him. And the one thing I want to make sure I get to is Jason Thompson is a fantastic human being and teammate, and it was really hard to make the move because he's been so good in our locker room. But he handled it like the true professional that he is, and it was a very difficult conversation to have. And we wish nothing but the best for Jason. He deserves it. The guys are all going to miss him. But this is a move that we just felt like we had to make to improve our team.
How do you think it does improve you? Obviously, you guys know so well the record.
Yeah.
Can make a change to your locker.
Well, I would say the biggest thing is Anderson's a 5. Jason was a 4. We like to play small at the 4 with Draymond and Harrison and even Andre at times. But we like to play big at the 5 when we can with Bogues and Festus. But with the injury to Festus and Bogues now has the Achilles issue, we felt like Anderson would fill a void in terms of the depth that we have at the center spot. We also think he's a perfect fit with the way we play because he's a playmaker and a dribble handoff, backdoor pass guy. He's a lot like Bogues in his feel for the game, and he's also a wonderful teammate. You know, Luke, Mo, and Sean all played with him in Cleveland a few years ago. LB has played with him on the national team, and they all raved about him as a teammate. So we're excited to get him.
How do you incorporate a guy that's just coming into this right now? What kind of things do you have to run to do that?
Well, fortunately, he's a guy who has a natural instinct for the game, and we play a lot of kind of freestyle offense anyway, where we hit the big guy and start running our cuts, and that's what he's best at. Now he's going to have to learn the sets that we do run, and we'll put him through a practice tomorrow. Give him a video playbook and help him along. The coaches will get with him to walk him through stuff. But it is tricky to incorporate a guy this late in the season, and we'll do our best, but we do think he's the kind of guy who will pick things up quickly.
Even though he's widely considered a great guy in the locker room and all that, is there any hesitancy with just changing things up and how that could affect anything?
No, because we're not changing anything dramatically. I mean, we're still going to be who we are, and we're not taking out a rotation player to do anything. We have our core intact, we have our group intact, but we're adding a guy who is going to give us depth and who adds another playmaker. I mean, I think one of our strengths is our ability to play make at multiple positions. You know, Sean and Andre and Draymond, obviously with Steph, Bogut. I mean, we got a lot of guys who can make plays, and so to add another one means we have the depth where we can withstand some injury and still do what we do. He's questionable right now. We'll see how he comes out of shoot around and go from there.
When you played this game last year, the Hawks are the top in the East, you're the top in the West. Things have changed a little bit. You're still there. They're struggling. Is there a key to staying at the top like you have?
Well, we didn't lose anybody from last year from our core. I mean, I shouldn't say that we lost David, but in terms of our top 8 or whatever, we've kept things together, and we have a young team that is naturally getting better. I know the Hawks lost DeMarre Carroll, who was a big part of their team, and they've had some injuries, and so things change in this league dramatically. And when you do have something special, you try to keep it going as long as you can, which is what we're trying to do. Because knock on wood, it can all end like that. You just never know.
How soon can you see Andy play?
Not tonight. But maybe in Miami. Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's a guy you can plug in, and because of his instinct for the game and the way we play, we don't need to run a lot of sets, so he could play pretty quickly. And I plan on playing him to get him some rhythm. He hasn't played much at all this year, and he says he's healthy, and he's been practicing all year. It feels good. So the one thing he'll need is some rhythm, and so we want to get him some minutes as soon as we can.
Steve, you played in Cleveland. You understand why the people in Cleveland love Andy, don't you?
Well, I don't know him yet, but everything that I hear from the guys who do know him and what I know from watching him, he's hard not to like. He's a guy who gives effort multiple times in one possession and competes, every second he's out there, and the enthusiasm that he plays with, and from what I gather, his personality in the locker room. He's going to be a fan favorite in Golden State, just like he was in Cleveland.
What does Luke say about him?
He said he's one of the best teammates he's ever had, and he says he's got Bogut's feel for the game as a passing big and screener, and understands angles. And the more guys you can have on your team who have a feel like that, the better.
Steve, the second Bulls three-peat you were a part of, I remember talking to Phil Jackson, and he said it was like this. When you guys went somewhere, it was like traveling to the beach. Is that becoming something of what you're going through right now?
It's getting close. Michael was a phenomenon, into himself. Steph is sort of getting into that territory. I think people enjoy the way we play too, and so maybe that has something to do with it. We have a very likable group of guys, other than Draymond. Everybody who doesn't play with Draymond hates him. We love him, but I don't think the fans like him that much, other than in Oakland. But the rest of our guys are also easygoing and smiling and joking. I think we have a pretty likable team.
Hip Hop since 1987.com.